Case 3, The Oberoi Group by Charlotte, Rhett, and Chloe.
Given that Oberoi is such a high-caliber hotel brand, it has to ensure that it remains a leading hotel in all areas of service. This includes accommodating dissatisfied customers. While lesser properties may be able to get away with simply covering the lost night, Oberoi should have also paid for the night at the other hotel. To further this point, the customer satisfaction model details the gaps in their service quality. The experience was less than what the customer expected at Oberoi because of the train noise, thus resulting in a gap in customer satisfaction. When the general manager was confronted with the customer leaving, she did not know how to handle it. She made the first step of refunding the third night of the guest stay. This is just what the customer expected he would receive. No positive feelings were gained from this reimbursement. Ultimately, this was a flaw in the service design. Oberoi should have prepared their employees for a situation such as this. Had the employee been prepared for a customer leaving, she wouldn't have been so lost when confronted with the issue. Given the caliber of the hotel, she should have also paid for the night at the other hotel. This would have alleviated some of the unhappiness of the guest and caught him by surprise, thus making the perceived service greater than the expected, resulting in a quality surprise. If Oberoi had gone above and beyond, the customer's negative perception of the experience would have been more greatly alleviated.
As stated in question 1, Oberoi has some of the highest caliber service in the industry, which is due in part to Empower. In question 2, we will be assessing Empower, their HR initiative, and whether the incentives work to create a front line who are empathetic and attentive. Additionally, is it sustainable? Oberoi already hires for people who are good and hard workers who care about service. The best way to empower employees who care about service is to give them the opportunity and the authority to do so. This allows them to feel confident as well as trusted. Oberoi, with their initiative, is essentially saying, "We trust you to make the right decision." In terms of sustainability, we can see that it'll probably be sustainable because it's very similar to Ritz-Carlton's famous $2,000 rule, which has been working for a long time. Empower allows employees to be creative, anticipate a guest's needs, which is one of their 4 service pillars, and/or enhance a guest stay or feelings towards Oberoi. What aids in their Empower initiative is that Oberoi has brilliant dimensions of service. They are consistently rated as one of the top hotel brands in the world in terms of service and experience. They set very high service standards and expectations, such as replacing an empty toothpaste tube with one of the same brands at all their hotels. In terms of responsiveness, their service standard is a zero-defect product and utilization of a glitch report that allows all the employees in the hotel to be aware of any service issues with any guest, and so that each of them can address it before the departure of the guest. Another of their standards is that they know and greet all guests by name when they arrive and use those names throughout their stay. This transcends into empathy, the next dimension, when they greet guests who seek privacy only by their pseudonym. Additionally, the Empower program encourages and enables employees to empathize and meet all the guest needs. Their facilities are designed to reflect and enable the highest levels of service.
At the heart of the Oberoi Group's success is its commitment to service excellence. Everything the Oberoi Group does is framed around the mission of meeting and exceeding the expectations of our guests. The company's growth strategy should align with its mission. The best way to continue Oberoi's tradition of exceptional guest service is to expand its luxury flagship brand, Oberoi. This horizontal growth strategy of expanding the Oberoi brand will accomplish 3 things. It will improve the brand awareness by allowing more people to stay and experience the hotels. The expansion of the Oberoi brand will not in any way diminish the brand's status as one of the best hospitality service providers in the world, because each new Oberoi hotel will be held to the same high standards of the already existing properties. And third, it will capitalize on the company's main competitive advantage of exceptional guest service. Currently, the Oberoi Group only owns and operates hotels in India, Southeast Asia, the Middle East, and Africa. The company should expand to a few locations in Europe to allow European travelers to be acquainted with the brand. Western travelers that are visiting India for the first time will be much more likely to patronize Oberoi if they have already been introduced to the brand at home. Many aspects of the Oberoi service model will make it replicable globally. Perhaps the most critical element for replicating a service model is standards. The Oberoi Group has extremely detailed set of standards employees must follow. This includes everything from grooming standards for men and women to specifications for how sugar and sweetener should be arranged on a coffee table. The service model is also structured to allow for continual improvement. Oberoi tracks mistakes via an electronic document called a glitch report. This glitch report allows employees to identify the root causes of mistakes and take corrective action so mistakes don't happen again. Another aspect of the Oberoi service model that will prove essential to the company's global expansion is training. The company is one of the most thorough employee development programs of any hospitality group. The company designates a large number of overall staff at each property as trainers. But the company does not stop there and invests annually in a formalized training program for managers called the Oberoi Center of Learning and Development. The program basically grooms students for upper-level management positions in their hotels. While aspects of the Oberoi service model will ensure that the service level is replicated and sustained overseas, certain aspects of the model will serve as obstacles to global expansion. Many of the components of the service model, while they make sense for the company's now 31 properties, will not be practical if the company grows. An example of this is the current employee selection process. When opening 2 new Oberoi hotels, the group traveled all around India for 52 days to select only 240 people for the properties. Doing an employee selection expedition on this scale will not be possible when the company grows. Additionally, the company prides itself on giving each guest a high level of attention and care. However, at times, this kind of attention can pose a threat to operational efficiency of the hotels. The Fawn Farewell is one service standard that will not be practical under a growth strategy. It does not make sense to take 22 staff members away from their actual job duties to say goodbye to a single guest. The Fawn Farewell directly relates to the third weakness of the Oberoi service model, its commitment to customization. While customizing each guest experience is a good thing, over-customization can lead to mistakes. If the Oberoi expands further beyond India, less deviations from the scripted process will be necessary to maintain high levels of service. To reiterate my last point, I will use the customer capability model. Currently, Oberoi falls under the category of centralized customization. However, as the company expands, the company must move away from customization towards a more strict adherence to standard operating processes. This will move Oberoi towards the centralized selection box.